Hello and welcome to Infamous MCP, the audio podcast. This is Brandon or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Josh, go by Grumozog on Discord.
And this is CJ. I'm still just going by CJ on Discord.
Welcome back to another riveting episode of Infamous. As always, links in the show notes. And it doesn't really count, but we're going to do it. All right, you guys ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
CJ, what's next?
News.
News.
Hey, news! Yes. News!
We're gonna.
Yeah, it's kind of news. There's some because did you guys? I didn't catch it last week. They announced a bunch of boxes. If you haven't been paying attention, listeners, not really announced new boxes, but kind of just confirmed that we are actually getting new boxes. So we're getting both the new Spider People boxes. We're getting the other affiliation Spider box. It's got Black Cat, Amazing Spider-Man, Agent Venom, and Spider-Woman. Some new starter sets and apartment buildings. But, due to my innate knowledge of reading every single little bit of scraps, I did see under the Peter Porker, Spider-Man Noir, and Silk box that there might be a new Web Warrior affiliation, or adjacent Web Warrior affiliation.
Yeah. So the bullet point in the details reads, ideal for fans and collectors, a must-have pack for players who want to build or expand their Spider-Verse affiliation teams in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Recently, to be fair, their bullet points have sounded very ChatGPT oriented, and so it's hard to say for sure that it is factual evidence. I imagine there's some people talking about this online. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I could see this being a hint at an upcoming affiliation. I could also see it being just a bad choice of words.
Oh, for sure. Especially since they are Spider-Verse characters, and this could just be just how they used to describe them, which is totally
right.
Completely makes sense. But at the same time, I like the idea.
The fact that it's immediately followed by the word affiliation, but it's also redundant affiliation teams. It just feels very word salad, and
I'm looking right now to see if I'm not crazy that it was the same wordage. It's ideal for fans and collectors, perfect for players building Web Warriors teams, offering a fresh set of heroes to lead your battles against evil forces. So that's
Well, they didn't say affiliation there, so maybe they're implying they're just going to change the name of the affiliation to Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but it could be
just kidding.
I don't know. I feel like this might be, especially with the Blue Marvel and the Spectrum or Photon release they're doing. They are technically adding another Avengers roster, and they said they're going to be leading the Mighty Avengers. So maybe they listened to us 100 episodes ago when we talked about splitting off affiliations. So.
Man, I was going to I didn't know that happened. I was actually going to use that as the fact that they haven't done that as evidence to say that Spider foes or Spider people wouldn't make sense. But yeah, if they're doing multiple split offs, that'd be really good. And I think the game really needs it to break up teams. There's just too many people in affiliations.
Yeah, there's I think we might be getting one with the leader as well, and potentially Kang, perhaps, because Kang is the 5th leader for the Cabal sounds insane. Right, they confirmed he has leadership for Cabal, but if he's there's another Cabal faction like the Illuminati or Intelligentsia, or not Illuminati, Intelligentsia, or the Masters of Evil or something that takes a bunch of Cabal members who are do they really belong there, and just kind of shunts them to a new faction.
So, historically speaking, when they've done these shoot-off factions like Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, they haven't removed anybody from the premier affiliation. So, if they're just going to say, hey, here is Spider-Verse, it's just like Web Warriors except more restrictive, just like Hydra is for Cabal. And you're like, okay, sure, I get that. It adds another flavor you can put on something. But the fact that the Avengers has 30 people in it at this point and a lot of really strong characters, that's more my problem. I don't care that you're adding other options. I care that the one option is overpowering, right? And that we've had that issue for Avengers in the past. It's not really an issue at the moment, in my opinion. But the fact that for a really, really long time, Sam was just take 9 good characters plus Sam, you're Avengers affiliated, congrats. And it's
because usually be
and so
a character comes out, they're good. They're also a morally good character. Bam, they're in Avengers. Also a 3
exactly. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see them go through and like break down those huge affiliations and split them into different ones. And we've talked about a lot of different ways to do that in the past. I think part of them doesn't want to because people, like when they banned evacuation efforts, there were so many people screaming from rafters on Facebook where it's like, I bought Star-Lord only to have this mission. It's not fair that you invalidated my purchase. Like it had nothing to do with Star-Lord, right? Like it was just a random mission they put in his box. It wasn't like Star-Lord saves the world, the mission. It had nothing to do with Star-Lord.
Haven't they've always been like, yeah, you could just get like, they've let you print stuff off the entire time the games existed, right?
No.
Is that a new...
No. That was definitely a newish thing. That didn't happen until the first dynamic update, I believe.
Well...
No, yeah. There was a big no printing things for a long time.
I think that started at the same time that Legion, Star Wars Legion, also started getting like a ton of updates and super complex. And if anyone plays that, like there's like a deck building aspect almost in all of this. Well, the problem is when you update it or you update the cards, and the cards have points and stats on them, they realize they can't just keep printing boxes for that if they want to update the game more, and so I think MCP got shoehorned into that as well.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson on the no printing things, because it just solves so many problems on their end, and I don't know, you guys weren't around for Monster Apocalypse, although you probably would have played it if you were. They had a similar issue where it was a second version of an old game, and it used models that were very similar, even though they were technically different. It's kind of like the difference between HeroClix and MCP. Like, you could probably just go get one of your old HeroClix Captain Americas, pop them off the base, put them on an MCP base, and play with them, and nobody would care, right? But if you can't print the stat card, that doesn't work. So it forces you to buy their model to get the stat card, right? And at that point, they don't really care if you use the HeroClix model because you've already bought the model. But they got to the point where everyone's just sharing the cards on Facebook anyway, that like no one in the stores cares if you have the physical card or not. And you would just get to the point where it just eventually broke down and people didn't care anymore. So the fact that they were trying to hold the no using printed cards thing in Monpoc was trying to stop people from using their old minis and trying to force them to buy their new minis. It didn't end up mattering because nobody wanted to use the old HeroClix style minis anyway. The vast majority of them wanted to buy the models, but by not letting people do print to play cards, they locked themselves out of ever updating anything. And so it just became a huge problem that ended up sinking them in the end. And so I think pretty early on MCP realized that, well, if we just allow print to play cards, it fixes so many of our issues that they just immediately went to it. So it's good to see that we're much friendlier with that stuff now.
Yeah, it's just, I think overall, as the game goes on, I think that's just healthier for everyone to kind of figure out, that being able to just have access to the rules means more people will buy your product. Because, like, you can make money off, sell it like Games Workshop does, and fleece people for an $80 rulebook every 3 years. Or you could just release a free update, have people print it off, and play whatever they want.
My favorite is they sell data cards every time they release an army. But they update the army after like 2 months.
The data card's useless.
You buy like $35 data card pack, which is just like it's like a set of index cards basically, and then they're just invalid like almost immediately. And so most people don't buy them anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's standard operating procedure.
Yeah, it just seems like such a waste. And then like we can't even get mission cards printed. And so, like, the mission cards for their game have been out of stock since before. We had roughly 35 people, 40 people order them. We ordered 50 sets, and we got, like, I want to say it was, like, 12. And they was sold out day of. Like, we only got, a quarter of our allocation. And then they're finally coming back, like, this week. So it's just stuff like that. It's just really frustrating. It's like you're focusing on printing data cards that nobody's buying just so you can't print the mission cards everybody wants. And it's just like, guys, pay attention. Like, what do the important shit first.
I mean, you're talking about a company that still sees itself as a company that makes miniatures and not a game.
I think they're past.
Hopefully,
that viewpoint. They have been for a while.
They do seem to be.
That was their like 6th edition 7th edition mindset, and that almost bankrupted them. And I think they
they're
they
like,
realized
wait a
pretty
second,
quickly that wasn't going to
people
work.
actually want to play with their little plastic men? Crazy.
Yeah.
Which sucks too. I mean, it's good too. I picked up a couple Games Workshop model kits, and I do realize how nice they are to build and stuff sometimes. Like I built a couple tree kin from Age of Sigmar. Fantastic. They're fun to build still. They look good. So yeah, they still do a pretty good job. But also, speaking of news coming up, they do have all the stuff that was announced. I think all releases the first week of October, which is kind of crazy.
I was just looking at that. Let me pull that back.
I just need my new Guardians or my new Asgard, so I have focus to play.
Yeah. So
I don't know who the fuck paid somebody so much money to fuck with auto completion on Google.
Oh, it's their AI.
I've never gone to Shopify's website in my entire life.
It's the AI.
And to go to Asmodee, you have to go to shop.asmodee. So
Shopify?
I start typing shop. I type S, and it autofills shop.asmodee, and then I type H, so it's shop.asmodee. And if I type the O, it's like shopify.com. I'm like, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. And because I just instinctively type 3 letters because that's how my search engine at work works. And so I'm like, 3 letters enter, and it just takes me to Shopify. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I get so mad. Yeah. I'm like, how is it correct for every number of letters but 3? If I type exactly 3, it's like Shopify.com, I'm like, fucking die. I hate you. Ugh, so annoying.
I hate it when I'm Googling something, even silly stuff, and be like, oh, hey, I'm looking up something, and then the Google AI is like, wait, you're searching for this? It's like, no, I don't need to know Trench Crusade list builder, and you give me an AI fucking answer, Google. I just want to go to the website. Because I'm bad about I won't type in the website, but I'll just like Google search for the thing I'm looking for, and then click the top result.
No, but that's what it's happening, though. Like, I'm typing the link to the place I want to go, and like the blue like autofill, before you hit enter, changes while you're typing it. It's like every other autofill in the world, you start typing it, and it stays the same as long as you type the characters in that are coming next. But this one stopped. Like, if I type the letter S, it pre-fills shop at Asmodee. And if I type the O in shop, it will then change to Shopify. But by then, I've already hit enter, and now it takes me to shop. It's so annoying.
Agreed.
All right. October. Let me find the October releases. Oh my god, there's so many in September.
Is there? Oh, I guess there's a bunch of Legion shit in there.
Yeah, Asmodee still has not updated their website for the October
stuff yet. So there's the new stuff coming out, and the 2 new starter kits come out on Halloween.
I was talking with Aaron a little bit about the new starter kits. What's your guys' opinion?
If I wasn't already so far into the game, and I was just learning about this game and just starting out about it, I think these are really cool because they're basically half of a core set, right? It's rulers, dice, it's 10 cards, and it's like 10 characters, I think, right? 21 team tactic cards, so more than that.
Yeah.
I think I like them personally just because if you have something, it's kind of like you want to grab people with what they like, right? And the easier that you can do that, the more people are willing to spend money. So if I go, man, I love Green Goblin, I can't wait to Goblin all over the table. And then you see like, oh shit, I can just buy the full affiliation with everything I need to play. Bam, good to go. So I think from a business decision, it's smart. The downside is they just keep releasing ones. I've been playing long enough. I've just been buying single boxes, so it's stuff I'm like,
so like
man, that box is really cool, but like it does nothing for me because I'm only missing 2 models out of it, and I would have bought them if I wanted them.
Yeah, there's only that's the main issue I have with them is that why I think they're a good entry point. The problem is like I don't need to buy these, which kind of sucks because I still want to financially support the game and I want stuff to come out that's cool. But like if you're trying to get somebody started to play at the store, for instance, and they're like, oh well, the two best entry points right now are playing Spider Foes or playing X-Men. Well, you're not really playing the X-Men with this X-Men starter set, are you? Because you got to grab Sabretooth, Mystique, Magneto, and Toad.
I think that's a little bit of just how wide that affiliation is.
Yeah,
like,
but
I
you
think
can
the
fill
Spider
in
Foes
4
one
other
is
X-Men
pretty.
to put it there.
I agree, but
In fact, off the top of my head, you could probably bring Colossus, Magic, You could also probably bring, I don't know, Bishop. You could bring the...
Yeah, I had not actually looked into this yet on who was physically in the box. So it's basically the first wave of Marvel figs plus Rogue and Gambit.
Yes. It is...
Or sorry, Mutant figs is what
Yeah.
I meant. That's really weird. So this is the third time they've printed most of these
Correct.
models?
And now the only way to get these models will be in this big-ass box.
No, because they have X-Men and Brotherhood affiliation
Are
boxes.
they still printing those?
They haven't. I guess there's no indication that they're going to
Okay.
stop.
But yeah, I mean, my only gripe is that this is the weirdest set that they're doing. Like, the Spider-Foes one makes tons of sense, right? Like, these are 10 characters.
Don't think so.
I mean,
it makes more sense in the fact that they're all
yeah, that's what I'm
affiliated.
saying. Like, you get a complete affiliation here. You know, if you're not thinking about it like, oh, are these the 10 best characters I could bring in a Spider-Foe roster? No. Like, you could probably...
Oh, no. There's no Doc Ock in here.
Correct. He's in the Cabal pack.
So how do you get Doc Ock?
The Cabal pack. Cabal, Red Skull, Doc Ock, Baron
No,
Zemo.
neither Doc Ock's in here.
The starter set.
So I have to buy a starter set and half of the original starter set to get, like, one of my leaders and another iconic character.
Yeah, correct. Are these points that Aaron made, or are these things you're figuring out?
No. I just did. Like I said, I haven't looked at them
Yeah,
at
so
all. I knew that they were coming.
It's kind of a weird, like, in a perfect world, I think you just, I don't know, you'd price these out individually, but the Scoob bloat for 200 plus fucking characters would get insane at this point. So I don't know.
I mean, that sounds like a big skew. It's really not that big. I'm kind of for the affiliation packs.
Yeah.
But I think models should be... What they should have done is just stopped printing the 2 character packs a long fucking time ago and just done 4 character packs.
Wow.
And then started updating the old stuff. But we're still getting 2 character packs.
Yes. So...
Until very recently.
Well,
we have
no,
been.
there's still a couple 2s coming out, but they're bigger 2s. Like, the two that I know right off the top of my head on the horizon is the Warriors 3 and the Pegasus, the Valkyrie on Pegasus
Mm-hmm.
is the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head right now.
And they're going to argue that's 4 models.
It's technically 5. There's 3 Warriors in the Warriors 3, a horse and a lady riding the horse, so
Yeah, dude.
5. No, it's very interesting to me because, like, they started doing the 4 character packs, which I was like, hell yeah, that's one less thing I have to buy. And then they started being like, never mind, we're doing 3s, we're doing 4s, we're doing 2s still. It's all over the fucking place still.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the concept of starter kits, that there's just, like, bigger versions. As a retailer, I am concerned of they're creating not just SKU bloat, redundant SKU bloat.
Yeah, and I hate that in a game.
Because now I have on the shelf Lizard and Kraven.
Yeah.
And then I've got the Spider-Foes affiliation pack. And now I'm going to have the Spider-Foes starter set. I'm going to have the same product on the wall 3 different times.
And the only thing that's...
And they did this to save me from having the 3 kits this would have been in the first place.
What's crazy is they're not, like, offering, like, trying to help retailers out by being like, hey, send your old shit in.
They'll never do that.
I know, exactly.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because they didn't sell it to me. I bought it from a wholesaler.
That's the thing, too, is, like, it's just going to be more of a pain in the ass, because you're like, well, you could buy Lizard and Mysterio, or you could buy just, for a huge... Because it is a discount, I believe, if you add up all these individual prices.
It is a very good deal.
Well,
if I recall. Isn't it like $100?
It's $95. And it gives you rulers, and it gives you dice. So the only thing I think I would have done differently, like...
Oh, wait, is there no tokens?
No, there's all the tokens and shit in here, too.
Is
there? 12 bases, 10 character stat cards. They did fuck up and say there's only 1 Sand Construct card. You need 2 of those. 21 Team Crisis cards.
Do you need 2 of them?
Yeah. Because they could be separate.
I don't know that
you don't need 2 of them, but, like, I got 2 of them in my box.
1 punch sheet.
Yeah.
But the old core set was at least 2 punch sheets.
2 token sheets, 10 dice, 3 movement tools, 4 range tools, 6 crisis.
I'm wondering if the punch sheet is just like objective tokens.
Maybe. That could be it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, when we figure it out. The only thing I think I would have done differently, because AMG is completely dropping the ball on accessories. Like, they can be making all their money back on making cool fucking accessories for this game, and they refuse. I would have green dice, and I would have themed fucking range tools.
I would buy the sweet fucking Asgard mat that they had at Adepticon.
The what?
They had an Asgard mat. That
was
like Yggdrasil with the
Rainbow Bridge and shit.
Rainbow Bridge and shit. And it was so
rad.
cool, and I was like, I would buy that.
One.
I thought about it.
Shut up, Will. This is mine.
Let's not admit to
No,
crimes.
I said should have.
It's only a
did.
crime if you do it and get caught, so let's not be worried about it.
Yeah, and plus they don't know where we live or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. That's another thing too. I always feel like AMG's kind of like, guys, you could just sell us this shit. Like, they used to sell mats. We were this close to getting one. Like,
so just to be clear, Fantasy Flight sold the mats through Asmodee.
oh, is that what it was?
That's the problem, is that they have the license for all the productions, because they didn't. It was all done for Fantasy. Like, same thing with all the X-Wing mats.
Well, Fantasy Flight
did
does all
shit.
their fucking. They still
And then,
does all the.
Oddly, when all the Star Wars games got yanked from them, they stopped making mats.
Something.
No one knows why.
Yeah. Boo, Asmodee.
Anyway, we kind of got well off track on this.
It was still it was a nice diversion. There's new stuff.
I was just
out.
curious what you guys thought about the core.
I like
sets.
them. What do you think?
I think it's a cool option to have for the consumer. I think the consumer should like it. There's nothing wrong with having it from the consumer's point of view. From your game store's point of view, it's kind of frustrating that, you know, how many times do I have to sell you a can of Coke in different packaging for you to be happy? And so that's kind of frustrating. I personally would like to see stuff like this be special order, but that's like the opposite of what it's supposed to be, because it's meant for new players. You don't want to have to special order stuff so people can start a game. So what you'd like to see is they stock these and you special order the smaller packs. But that's not functionally useful because they've already ordered all of them. They're already on the shelf. And now no one's going to buy them unless they're the oddball older player that already owned half the box and only wants the other half, right?
Yeah.
It's the only time you're going to get people to buy those now. So you're just going to sit on shelves indefinitely is going to be the problem. And so a lot of stores are going to end up eBaying them for a loss.
Yeah, and I think that's sadly very true now.
Right. And so it's just frustrating. I think it's good for the customer. It's probably good for the company. I don't really know, because you're cutting into your own margin. It's fine, probably. I do generally like anytime obviously models get cheaper. That's a good thing.
I mean, bang for your buck. These are the best things to buy, though.
Yeah, if they come with the actual full token punch sheets, I'd be pretty happy, because I think most players don't need more terrain. I think most players want the cheapest models they can get. And if you get extra cardboard tokens, because cardboard tokens wear out already, then that's just bonus.
Yeah, if I didn't...
hey, I don't have to go buy a new core set to get the fucking cardboard tokens. I can buy the Spider-Foes core set.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, if I didn't already own fucking 80% of the range, I would have way less tokens. Because they, after, 200, 300 games or so, they just start turning into white pieces of cardboard.
Yeah. I think my issue with this is it feels not well thought out. It's just like, why did we bother repackaging into the X-Men box and the Spider-Foes box? You could have done the core set and then had the affiliation box be the 4 missing models, like the 2 Docs and something else. That way it's like, all right, I bought the Spider-Foe core set. What do I buy next? The Spider-Foes affiliation box. And now you've got the complete package.
They had
that would have been clean. And they didn't. They did the opposite, where you create redundant purchases, and now you're trying to scrap stuff together.
If they had done this earlier on, I think it would have been a good idea. Because I personally like the little affiliation boxes they do.
Sure.
But now it's just kind of like, okay, well, we're 5 years into the game. I think it's been, or is it longer? It might be 6 now.
I think it was October 19th.
I think it's October 19th. And so it's like, okay, most of the people that are interested in these things already have them. And so yeah, for stores, you're going to buy one and it just sits there until someone gets a wild hair or finds it interesting enough. So
yeah, that's the
affiliation box is a good idea. These starter sets, a good idea that's came too late.
Right, and that's what I was saying. Is like it required more future thought than they originally used.
Yeah.
Because if they had come out with like, here's 4 new core sets, when the old core set was still out, and then phased out the old core set, and they could just turn the old core set into this. Just take the models and the cards and put the new cards in with the old models and rebox them without the terrain. Like that would have been fine, and that would have still been a fine product to have.
Oh no! Now I can't. Now I don't actually remember where the hell you get Doc Ock from.
The Doc Ock 1 you can theoretically get from the Rivals pack and from the Cabal pack. Oh no, he's in the Spider Foes affiliation pack, isn't he?
He might be. I gotta look at Jarvis now.
Yeah, he's in the Spider Foes affiliation pack. So to buy him, you have to also buy a second copy of Lizard, Craven, and Green Goblin to get Doc Ock 1. Way to go.
That's
anyone local, you can just have mine. It will never be painted. So,
well, you might want to use well-laid plants at some point.
And according to their website, the Rivals pack is no longer available, and so you can't get the cool-looking Doc Ock. I guess. Bummer. Versus.
That wouldn't surprise me if they stopped. If they
that's actually kind of shitty because that was a really cool box. If that's true,
it is the best sculpts of both of those characters.
Oh yeah, by a lot,
by a huge margin. It's actually kind of like insane how much better those models look after such a short period of time. It's almost like you guys could have probably whipped these out back when the game was coming out.
Yeah, that basically means that Doc Ock costs like $65. He is a clipped King T'Challa.
Pay to win.
I'm sure they're trying to figure something out, or I assume the Rivals pack's just still in production, just not on their website. I think we have it in stock at the store.
Probably. But so what's the other thing I think I would also probably, if I was AMG, I would look at would be maybe just doing, whenever you do a new affiliation, doing a starter set.
Oh man,
but not like this.
So if you're gonna do a starter set, it needs to be like, what else is even left to do a starter set for?
That you could technically do a starter set.
Name an unreleased affiliation that has 10 characters that are not currently out.
No, well, you'd have to do something kind of crazy. You'd probably have to do like, it'd be a big box of like brand new shit. Is what I'm saying, kind of.
Right, but it'd have to be stuff that's affiliated.
Yeah, but you could just be like...
It can't just be a pile of new models.
Yeah, you could just make up an affiliation. Like, let's say...
I think that's a really dangerous precedent to just start putting shit in boxes together. It's like, hey, everyone needs Kang. Kang's only a new core set. Guess who he comes with? Hand ninjas.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like, fuck off.
Kang with hand ninjas? Hell yeah, dude. I'd take Kang and some ninjas. No, I think I don't know. I'm trying to find my point now that I've stated it. I think that these boxes would be cooler if there's some other reason to grab them, is what I'm saying. Like, it's cool. Like, there has to be a reason for somebody who's, like, into the game like I am. And, like, if I don't already own something, it's because I just don't want it, right? Like, if they came out with, like, a Hydra box that was, like, 10 affiliated Hydra characters, I'd be like, I don't really give a fuck. But if it came out with something cool in it where I'd be like, oh, maybe I'll try it out then, that would give me a little bit of, like, of an extra enticement to pick it up. Because, like...
Yeah.
Like,
I just really dislike re-releasing the same models and creating more rigid buying practices.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, you must buy all 10 of the Spider Foes to get them, and your other option is to buy an obsolete now box that has one character you don't own in it. It's just a really weird situation, right? Now, if you're just saying, we're going to start reboxing the old Avengers into starter sets, cool, but that's only targeting brand new players.
Yeah.
And... not to sound negative, but that we haven't had a huge amount of them in the last, 2 years. I do have some people at the store, but they're not buying core sets. They're buying, specific models they like and sharing the tools.
Well, and this might just end up being what we talk about tonight. Because, the other thing is, too, look at the releases they've been doing and name, okay, is anyone who's just tangentially into Marvel like, oh my god, they released the Inhumans.
Lady Mastermind.
You're like, wow, Exodus. Exodus is my favorite 1980s obscure X-Men villain.
Yeah.
No, they're not doing like last year it was like, okay, cool. Apocalypse. That's kind of like that's a big deal. Or like they had they had some more heavy hitters coming out with like a little bit more brand recognition, I'd say. This year has been like, oh, cool. You guys released Elsa, Bloodstone, and Manting, which Parker, granted, thought was cool. He likes Elsa, though, but like a general, like she was just barely in. You couldn't even tell that was who that was. Like if you're just kind of tangentially in the sphere, right? Who else came out this year? Inhumans box. Nova and Yondu's kind of cool. That'd be kind of grabby for some people, but at the same time, a lot of this stuff has been like a lot of weird, obscure type characters.
Where are we going with this? I've kind of
Sorry,
lost the vein
I'm
here.
just saying, like, I think this year, another reason why it feels like it's just been like a slow year for the game in general.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I agree. A lot of people feel like it's been a slow year, but I think it has been a slow year, which is, I think this year's release cycle is a healthy release cycle for the game. I think they were, the last couple years before that, it had been too high. Yeah, been way too fast. You should not be getting 6 models a month. That is a non-sustainable pace, 100%. And it was probably closer to like 4 or 5, but even still, like 2 new boxes every month. By the time people get them built and painted, you're still playing the old stuff, and the spoilers are out for the new stuff. And you're like, this model never had a lifespan because no one has time to experience it.
Well, last year, we're still kind of catching up meta-wise to what they all released last year, because there's still, the Monsters came out in October. Right before that, it was Apocalypse, Archangel, Angel, Weapon X, Warlock,
New Mutants. Luckily, New Mutants kind of fixed themselves.
Well, we didn't have to worry about that one. Mephisto, Abomination, Wrecking Crew came out. Spider-Foes came out that year. Asgard came out that year. Like that year was
there was a lot of shit,
and even then,
and that was coming off of the like CGR stagnant meta for 6 months. So it was basically just like nothing happened or changed for 6 months. Everything happened and changed. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so back to the core sets. I think the core sets are fine, assuming that they are like well executed, and I think that's something you have to plan way in advance. And I think the mightiest core set that came out, the core set 2, was not that. It was not well planned out and executed because they even admitted that they rushed it to market. Now that being said, I think it was a great core set. I think it was good for the game. It had a lot of cool, interesting mechanics in it, and it was overall very positive. I'm just saying that it wasn't well executed and planned out.
I have difference of
and
opinions,
so that was like,
but
considering the situation, as good as it could have been, in my opinion. Like, the only problem with it was the legality of it for WTC. That was the only issue we really had, which is not relevant to the box itself. That's relevant to the release date.
Yeah.
And then before that, the original core set box, absolutely great. Like, started the game, like, no complaints. If people want to complain about Crossbones, I guess.
No, because
I don't really
for
care.
like the time period, I think he's still fine.
At the time, he was fine. Yeah, he was
great,
not
crazy.
complainable.
He's a 3 threat with pay to reduce.
Yeah, first DR model.
Yeah,
like, totally fine. The fact that Zemo's in the box is probably a bigger complaint. But yeah, like the core sets overall have been really good. I don't like creating odd buying practices, and so I give a thumbs down on the Spider Foes just because it creates such an awkward situation. Like, I guess I'd be surprised how many people have been playing this game for more than a year that own 0 models in that box.
Especially since some of them are pretty good, like Lizard.
Right. Lizard, if you played the game 2 years ago, you own Lizard. And if you played the game last year, you own Rhino. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you want. Like everyone owns a model in this box that isn't brand new. And so brand new players targeting the box at them, obviously, it's a starter set. That makes sense. But you just eliminated 99% of your customer base from buying this product. And then you create such a weird situation. Like, if you just want to say that Doc Ock isn't a part of the affiliation anymore, then take him out and ban the model. Like, don't make it a $65 model to buy a fucking Doc Ock.
Now,
that's
what's
ridiculous.
Going to be crazy, and I'll have to look at the images. Do you think this box has well-laid plans in it?
I would imagine it would, because
there's 21 tactic cards.
Well, actually, no, because every place you can get Doc Ock should have that card instead.
Yeah.
So probably not, but maybe. I don't know.
Be interesting. Be kind of silly if it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think.
But like the silly part for me is like I already own 2 Spider-Mans, like of the original. I own 2 Doc Ocks from the original thing. So if you need a Doc Ock, come hit me up, 'cause I got one for you. But like, yeah, it's just so weird that he's been in 4 products and none of them are the new core set, because he was in the original core set, he was in the Rivals panel, and he's in the
Spider-Verse affiliation pack.
Spider-Foes affiliation box. And it's like, so he's been printed in 3 things, but not in the fucking affiliation that like his second version is the leader of.
Yeah, kind of weird. Well,
it's just odd.
Well, I think it's just the funniest thing too. I think it's just him and Carnage are the only ones that aren't affiliated outside of Spider-Foes.
And why is Magneto and Mystique and Sabretooth?
Oh no! Now we're going to talk about the other box.
Just call it the mutant starter set.
Yeah, well, X-Men's better branding.
Is it?
Yeah, if I said mutants, that could mean a lot of stuff. X-Men is very specifically a Marvel property.
Honestly, they should have dropped Rogue and Gambit and put Psylocke and Emma in here. That would have been way better.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Because then you could have called it the Mutant Star Box. You would have had Hellfire Brotherhood and X-Men all in one box. But what they're trying to do is get rid of all the 2-man boxes, and this was the most efficient way to get Rogue and Gambit in a box.
Yeah, I think the way it like shook out, right? Mm-hmm. It's the way it just lined up nicest. And I think that will get them kind of caught up. I know that. I think at the start of next year, S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff and Avenger stuff will start getting packaged up.
The really a weird thing to me, though, is like they already had them in affiliation boxes. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
The only one that wasn't was Rogue and Gambit, right?
Right.
Which is weird.
But I mean, they could have just packaged them with like some of the new mutants.
Well, they could have still just had Rogue and Gambit as a 2-pack because like they go everywhere. They're popular characters.
But the whole point is to get rid of the 2-packs. But what I'm saying is like they could have put them in with like Iceman and Bishop or something.
Yeah, and they could have done like
there's tons of mutants they could have found
or
a spot
Kitty
to
and
put them in.
Nightcrawler.
Put them in a box with Angel. It's like there you got 4 models in one box.
Yeah, and their Brotherhood, X-Men-ish, X-Force-ish type characters.
Yeah, I think we've beaten this pretty much to death, but it just seems odd.
And I don't know.
Hopefully they have a good reason for it, but yeah,
it feels like they're kind of still trying to figure out how to release stuff properly, and I don't know if it's like if it's them that's having bad ideas or if they just keep getting clubbed by the mouse. Right, because like every time they have to release something, they have to approve it with Marvel, who's aka Disney.
Everyone who interacts with the Disney IP does that. It's not a unique thing to AMC.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. It's like
I don't think if you think that there's a guy in Florida that approves the box sets and it was like, I know last year I approved the X-Men affiliation box, unapproved. You now have to release them in a core set. I don't think that happens.
I mean,
I just assume there's a guy sitting there heavily breathing at his desk.
You can have video evidence.
But
I will not believe you.
I don't know, and it could not be true. They have specifically stated that they wanted they wanted an Abomination model come out with I-Hulk, and they said no, you have to release a MODOK. So there might be a guy,
but that's not saying you have to release it as a core set. Like that's a very different situation.
Of course. But who the fuck knows? I've dealt with mid-tier corporate people, and they're all insane.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get back on the news real quick, just to wrap it up. We haven't talked about anything from Gen Con yet. I just wanted to point out that there is a painted red Hulk that's clearly getting a release.
No one's ever talked about that?
Clearly just painted red.
No,
we didn't. You guys were. I think you guys missed that week.
No, I actually am the one who posted that picture.
Yeah, I know you posted the picture.
I
don't think you're on the podcast.
But we can talk about that too. No, that is confirmed Thaddeus Ross, straight from Will Schick's Discord.
And again, I think you mean to say it is a painted red Hulk.
Yes.
Which, you could just buy a Hulk and paint it red and bam. That's
exactly.
But this one will come with a mustache option.
That's true.
That's funny. I do think the face is obviously like not Bruce.
Oh
right?
yeah,
like, the face is definitely not him.
That guy looks evil.
Yeah.
I'm very sad he does not have a unique base that is actually a terrain piece on top of the largest base size. I think that's stupid.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
But it's still a unique base, isn't it?
I mean, the base topper is. The base itself is just the large, it's the base.
Yeah, that's fine though. Like you just because you put terrain on top of it, he doesn't need a actually unique. Like, isn't I-Hulk also
a unique base?
Generic base.
I-Hulk is unique.
I thought it was just a piece you glue on top of it.
Okay. Abomination.
Oh well.
Abomination doesn't have a unique base. Maybe it's just I-Hulk's the special boy. But yeah. 3 new gamma irradiated characters from Gen Con. Stealth dropped. We didn't hear. There's none of the news of this at Adepticon. They haven't talked about it officially anywhere. Just pictures in a case.
That's pretty common for their teasing things.
Yeah.
We usually see it in a case, and then we'll see it on we'll either see it either in a case or we'll see it on the like long range timeline where it's just a title.
Yeah.
And then we'll get more news later on.
Yeah,
so yeah, that stuff's coming. So if you're excited about that, cool.
Oh, I mean, I feel such a dichotomy. I'm actually very excited for these characters. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I've been asking for, like as a wish list coming in from Red Hulk and the leader. Red Hulk could be a Thunderbolts leader, and the leader just existing is cool to me. So I like more bad guys. Keep releasing more obscure bad guys.
Okay. CJ, you wanted to talk about safe grabbers.
Yeah, I feel like it's still a relevant subject. I think that the recent not recent anymore, Jesus. I feel like the tactic card big switch up and the crisis changes have kind of
the Great Purge.
The Great Purge, yeah, it kind of shook that up a bit. But they still exist, and I still think they're pretty relevant to a successful game plan when it comes to some of these. We've been talking about extracts, and I figured it was kind of a natural fit, you know.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll give my overall impression of it real quick if you want, or if you want to go first, you can.
Go ahead.
So in my mind, the game has changed a lot over the last 6 months, mostly due to the mission update, partially due to some new model releases, some due to the purging. I don't think, because it used to be you had to have a safe grabber. If you didn't have a safe grabber, you couldn't really compete in tournaments. Like, it was so like day and night. So it was so common forever to have like Bill with Eyes or some equivalent. And then Namor came out, and Namor and ASM were everywhere for a little bit. Angela was kind of in there too. And then they kind of just slowly faded away. And I think that's mostly due to the style of lists have changed a lot. And so the only lists you really need a safe grabber against right now are some Inhuman lists and Apocalypse. And even Apocalypse, I think you can get by if you have either just Toad or another like specific kind of model. So I think it's mainly due to the fact that the meta has shifted a lot, that you don't see them nearly as often.
Right. Oh, I mean, yeah, I think 100%. I'll just build off of what you said. I think if you're looking to take down like a competitive event, you're going to see Apocalypse and you're going to see Inhumans. So I think if you're wanting to have a good matchup into them, you might be thinking about what you can do to have a safe grab, depending on what you're bringing and such.
I think safe grab is very much, I don't feel like we see it as much anymore, but an older style of play with the bunker, especially with, they still exist, but odd number extracts, right? The trick is you move, grab middle, move back safely, start bunkering up. But I will say that is one of the I'll call it a highlight of the new mission packs, is they're interacting between the extracts and the secures, right? So I don't even remember the last time I've tried to bunker up on anything, just because I feel like I need to be more engaged in the game. So I'm trying to remember the last time I run a safe extractor. It's been months.
You run Angela a lot, but I don't think you play her as a safe extractor.
So she wasn't in my Asgard Criminals list I played for a long time. It was very hard to drop her, but I was already sitting on like 3 5s or something. So
yeah, she was just in your go wide Asgard list with 4 5s.
Yes, that's wide, wider than 3.
It's pretty wide.
Pretty wide. Averagely wide, some would say.
You played literally the most expensive models in Asgard and called it a go wide list.
You don't have a lot of options in Asgard. And I was
you do.
I was
you
doing
not to play.
I was doing
21 points of 4 models.
I was doing 5 wide plenty. I did it often.
Sure.
With the best Asgardian Taskmaster. Best Asgardian 3.
I'm glad I finally convinced you.
I have come around. Valkyrie is...
It just took you time to play
Valkyrie is good. She's not great, but she's good. If she can do the one thing you need her to do, she pays for herself. And then she will die.
Yep.
someone will look at her and
she does die.
She will
She does
cease
that.
existing immediately. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just don't feel like because it feels like when I first started playing, I didn't understand safe grabbers, and then I realized I needed them, and now I just don't worry about them as much, and that could be maybe
you play with no fear, and that's the
well,
key.
that is the thing, is I do tend to run a playlist that's running at you, so I don't give a shit if you back up and bunker. I'm gonna come in and break up that bunker anyway. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I could make an argument for a lot of the, at least in Asgard, a lot of the new models got like splash damage stuff, so you really didn't want to be all bundled up around your back extracts. So, but that doesn't really take away from.
I don't think that was why.
A safe grab. It wouldn't really take away from a safe grabber. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the new missions just force you to be more present on the table, just because there's so many points everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't think the grab and run plan works in the current meta, which is partially a good thing, but unfortunately that means that the run forward and win plan still works, which is not great.
I mean,
it's like put your models on the table, win game.
I enjoy running at you and trying to win. That feels nice for me.
Right, but just standing there and winning is not.
Yeah,
fun.
Standing there and winning is boring. I have no interest in that.
That's why we built a scenario list where you're constantly fighting for your life.
Yeah, clinging to life. It's more exciting that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of I feel kind of the same way. I stopped being like, oh, I need to have because like you were absolutely right, Brandon. I think a year ago, I'd be like, okay, cool. Which one of the 3 safe grabbers am I bringing in my list? Because I knew a lot of people were splashing. At least the Aaron and Perrin are splashing Angela for stuff. I saw a little bit. Maybe not exactly last year, but around that time.
Yeah, Angela's been the famous random zoomer model that people drop in that can speed long, medium base, 2 power.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course, Web Warriors had the, amazing Pete, and he'd be able to swing up, take it, run back, steal 2 sometimes, do all kinds of crazy shit. And the other one too, that's the only other third natural is Namor, and I think he's kind of also he's another reason I think a lot of people stop bringing, like, in addition to changes and stuff, I think he also threatened a lot of people on the midline, being able to move up.
Well, and he is a safe grabber in his own right.
Yeah, so. I think he's one of those. I wouldn't say a Swiss Army knife, more like a Swiss chainsaw when it came to that kind of style play.
Do you think it's more that people have just viewed Namor as not a safe grabber, and he's still in a lot of lists? And so when they look at lists, they no longer see Bill with Eyes and Angela and ASM. They're now just seeing Namor, and they equate that to aggression as opposed to safe grabber.
Because I think Namor's...
You think it's like a psychological perception?
I think it's also a practical one, because I think, you're not really too worried if Spider-Man lines up on... Amazing Spider-Man's on the other side of the table from you, and you're like, okay, cool, I got first activation, I'll just go pick up the one he was going to go grab. I'm not worried about it anymore. Well, Namor's a little bit different, I think. Namor could fly up and on turn 2 potentially make you drop it, right?
Well, he literally can just make you drop it because he has a steal.
The power thing has to work out correctly. But
on turn 2, you just get prio and you stab them and you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn 1, you just double move to stand on top of them. I think
that's
like,
also
cool, my token.
Why? Because it's just like, well, I think that this warped the game so much where it's like, cool, I can just flash Namor and then safe grabbers are gone. Right?
Yeah.
You can pick it up for a turn, but then Namor is just faster, right? I guess Spider-Man's kind of just as fast, but he can't steal it. That's the thing. I think the problem was... Spider-Man
has to punch through your defense where Namor doesn't. Yeah. Like, he just, on a script... Like, I assume people do that. It's like, oh, you had your safe grabber, move up, grab it, move back. And then, everyone else moves. You're like, oh, you got one guy left. Cool. Last activation on my side, Namor double moves to stand next to your guy with the extract that you just safe grabbed. And it's like, then I will spender, steal it, walk away long. And you're like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly kind of what it was. I think Namor not necessarily invalidated that part of the game, but definitely was like, cool, this is the answer to all of my problems when it came to this.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that's only in certain matchups. There's still other stuff too. I think Toad's still relatively very safe as long as you maintain priority, because you can being at range 2 from the center line is still really really good. I don't think Namor can move up and attack him, but I'm not. I'd have to look at it again. It's been a long time since I've done the trigonometry for that.
He can't hit him at range 2.
Yeah, so he can't get him.
Yes, correct. He cannot hit him at range 2. There's a bunch of ways you can attack him, just not naked.
Yeah, it's the same thing with you could time stone him more technically can because he can move up and charge, but you can't make him drop.
Yeah, because you move charge. You could also do it if you have like Wong or anything like that.
Pass him
ASM, same thing. If you can pass ASM a power, he can web swing move attack.
Yeah, that's still leaving it up to the dice sometimes too.
No, 100%. But I mean, anytime you're attacking Toad, you're leaving it to dice. So
yeah,
like if you just do somewhere between 2 and 3 damage, like he runs away, and you're just like, great, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, fun, great, fantastic. He's slippery away again.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that there's still arguments to why you'd still want to run. Like you said, in certain matchups, I think it's smart because like Inhumans are going to try to turn one into just being like having the advantage. And I think it might be good into Hellfire Club too. I think stealing stuff from Hellfire Club safely as fast as possible, I think, is one of their big weaknesses right now. So like if you lose priority with Hellfire Club and your opponent can safe grab something and take the second one before you can.
Oh, I don't think safe grab really has anything to do with it because you're usually not going for the ones that they've picked up. So their people are pretty safe anyway. It's only if you can somehow manipulate the ability to get multiples of them, and that's usually done through grunts.
Yeah.
And so, like, if Nick Fury walks forward, the grunts grab one, you grab one, that's a problem for Hellfire because you have no answer to the dickhead getting the token. Your only option is, like, hope Juggernaut one-shots them and can slide on top of it.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
But even then, let's see, if you're directly across, you can't punch them. And so you have to walk, slide, punch, and then they'll just drop it out of you can't get it back.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the old days, we had to do the math. There's only like 2 models in the whole game that could, outside of normal attack range, or on the first turn rather, kill the shield grunt and get the token from them. And it was basically Thanos was the only one we could really math out that could always do it. Because you basically have to have enough power and an extra move after you kill them.
Yeah.
And so to execute your move and still be able to pick it up. And it's just like, there's not enough people that do that on the first turn by themselves. And so that's why I was always arguing at the top of my lungs for so long. It's like, just put Nick Fury in your list as the 10th character and you will frustrate so many people on like hammers and shit. You're like, all right, turn 1, they both go get it. And it's like,
well, that's,
well, they just attack you. It's like, who cares? Like they're going to spend their entire first round trying to get these tokens back. They might get one of them. And then I just pick it up with somebody else, and it's game over again. Yeah. Like, I just have, if you're playing Shield, it's free because you just play Widow 3. She also has the Shield Grunt ability. And she's, like, ready to pick it up. And then if they start pumping a bunch of damage at Nick Fury, he's like, cool, now I'll just eye in the sky, and get away anyway.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the Grunts drop it, and you're just ready to get it with Widow. And she's like, what do you do? It's like, I'm just up 3-1 on extracts now, and you have to come into me.
I do love hammers.
Yeah.
I love playing hammers.
But yeah, so I would argue that nearly every list, you could cut the 10th character and put in a safe grabber. Your list is probably better. Because so rarely does that 10th character actually make your list better.
So,
in any reasonable way.
In that vein of thought, that is actually what started me running Shadowlands in my Asgard list, was I wanted someone that was going to benefit from Mighty Thor's leadership, and then I was like, I've got a bunch of these where if I get Prio, I can just move the grunts up, get it. Move Shadowlands up with stealth and board-wide senses and get it. Like, cool. Now the shield grunts are better because they're dropping where you want.
Way better.
Way better.
Because so many people can move, charge, kill the grunts, and actually net power and then get the extract. But with the shield grunts putting it out of pickup range, it drops the number of people that can get it to under 10. And it has to be the person that deploys up opposite you. Because let's say they had that person, you would just counter deploy them and you just put your guy on the other side.
Yeah.
So they have to save their counter deploy model for where they think you're going to put the grunts. And so, yeah, it's a whole mini game.
which is fun. But I think that's kind of what I was hopefully getting to, is that probably still taking a safe grabber is a good idea.
Yeah. I tend to avoid doing stuff like that because I really dislike doing meta things in my lists. I try to build unique lists that are fun in my mind.
Yeah,
and so I usually avoid that kind of stuff. But if I'm going trying to build a list for like a big tournament, then yeah, I'm gonna look at stuff like that.
I'm kind of going down to the same road you are, because I brought Shadow King a couple weeks ago and played him, which turns out not too bad. Shadow King's, I think, a fine model. I think Hellfire Club's easily his best home. But it's the same kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's the best leadership you're going to get in pretty much any list is going to be +1 hit point and power.
But he's affiliated. He could be an affiliated 5-threat.
He is affiliated, but so is Cassandra Nova, and I would argue she's even better.
I think they're probably...
She has such a great toolkit.
If he's a B, she's a B+. He's got a pretty okay toolkit, too, and he's got power to do stuff. It's expensive, but man, he could ping-pong people around pretty easily. They're very similar, though. But I think... the other thing is too. What was I going to talk about? Safe grabs. There's a couple of factions that have them that don't that you don't typically not aware of sometimes. Like Steve allows a couple safe grabs. I think with Cable and Hulkbuster, right?
Yeah.
X-Men used to be the chess
Hulkbuster,
because you can medium move. He gets 2 power. Why is Hulkbuster? Why did I think Hulkbuster?
You would have to hit and run. No, that's not one.
No.
It's not Hulkbuster. Probably, I know it's Cable, and because of Cable, that means that...
I'm stupid. Hulk.
Yeah. Well, Hulk already can... Oh, no, he doesn't actually safe grab. With Hulk, he can safe grab, yes. Yeah.
Juggernaut's
there's a couple others
the other
as well.
famous one under either leadership for Brotherhood. Mystique allows him to do it, and I think in Magneto, with the right terrain setup, you'd have to force it with his constructs.
It's basically guaranteed.
Pretty much guaranteed. If you wanted to do it, you could do it. Which is fun. I think it's...
So, do you think that safe grabs are still warranted in lists?
The
most famous one's obviously gone because Eyes is banned.
Yeah, Eyes is gone. So
I think that if you have a 10th slot and you are worried about it, the safe grabbers that exist are good enough in most lists that it's worth considering. There are some that are going to be in your list anyway, depending on who you're playing, right? If you're playing Shield or... what is Namor only in Shield? Defenders?
Yeah.
You're already there, right? Brandon and I will disagree. I really love Angela, so I would play her.
So I don't think the question is, are the safe grabbers good enough? I think that's unanimous. The question is, do you think it's something you should be worried about rather than not be worried about?
I think you don't lose by bringing one. I think it's a good thing to have in your list. More tools is always useful.
So let's just say the average tournament is 3 rounds. What do you think the odds are you encounter a list you want to have a safe grabber against in a 3-round tournament? What percentage?
At the store, or if I'm traveling?
In general.
If I'm trying to build a list that's going to get me 3 wins, and I'm not doing anything stupid, I might consider it if it's a natural part of the list. So, let's say I'm playing Defenders. Namor's going in Defenders.
Well, sure, right. Obviously, if your list already includes
well, that's the thing too. It's I think it's less, it's an easy layup. But I think if I'm having to look at let's say I'm playing somebody that doesn't get one naturally, so I'm playing Crime Syndicate, right? Just King, and then I have to think about what am I sacrificing in that roster slot,
right? But assuming that it's not. Obviously, you're never going to exclude one if it's already in your team.
Right.
And you're not going to break up a team that works by cutting an important model for a safe grabber. So outside of those two situations...
I'd give it it's a strong possibility. Honestly, I kind of stopped doing it mostly because I had more fun bringing shit I like bringing and not worrying about oh, hey... I need to bring Namor as a splash character because they might be running something that's going to steal an extract first, or I need to make sure I protect my guy in the midline, which was how I used to build lists, right? I used to always be like, okay, checklist. Boom, I need a safe grab. Boom, I need somebody to stand on a point. I need like a lizard type character. I need to have my, I'm trying to think of another like or my like Shang-Chi or my Bill or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. But I would say in like the 2023 time frame, safe extractors were at least 3 times as important as they are now.
Yeah,
like because it was fucking CGR was running around, Malekith was there, you had still the same Inhumans jump on
Prime
your face.
Thanos.
Guardians Thanos was everywhere. You could not let your opponent look at your models. Like it was not an option. And now they've gutted all those lists for the most part.
I will also say with the tactics cards that existed, and this is not in every list, there was a lot more turn 1 scripted plays.
Yep.
That don't exist anymore. So it used to be very much like,
Spirit of Wakanda.
Cool, I play this card, I move up, I grab, I move back here, I do this, and I'm like I kind of said earlier, like you start setting up your bunker or something. But so many cards are gone, and models that were affected by those cards can't do that anymore, that it is definitely a very lesser part of the game. You don't need to worry about having one. It's good to have one. Like, I would never discourage you if you were asking me, but I would agree. They were 2 years ago. It was like I had lists where I'd be like, "Cool, I want to play this. What's my safe grabber going to be?"
Yeah, it was more like, "What's my second safe grabber?"
True.
Like it's like if you don't have 2, like you could probably afford another one.
You need it. Yeah, it's
taking Bill and Angela to have double safe grabs, and just like, I'm taking these 2 points. Goodbye.
Yeah, and I think overall it's moved the game into a healthier place, which is nice. But I don't know. I feel like there's still there's a weird disease part of my brain who like being able having to problem solve lists like that. I guess I wish there was more. There were many options, but still trying to think of the way to problem solve a list when you're coming up with something was nice. And there's less of that now. More stuff's just generally like, hey, I can just bring this and it's alright. I don't know if that's just because I've become...
It feels like the whole game's been watered down a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying, though. Like, I used to be able to have to sit down and be like, okay, cool, how am I solving this right now? Well, now it's more like, okay, cool, I'm bringing Spider Foes, so I'm just going to bring the coolest Spider Foes I've got painted up, and I'm bringing, whatever else I'm bringing, and now... It's a different kind of game, right? It's weird to say, but like the changes they've done to the game have definitely changed the game in a significant way. Looking at the differences between playing right now and playing at this time last year, right?
All right, so safe grabbers, we've probably laxed on them too much, but they're not nearly as important as they used to be. So probably you should be looking at them more than you are, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have one.
No, I think there's plenty of game plans that don't require them now, which is nice. It used to be a must-have, and now it's a nice-to-have, right?
I know me and Josh subscribe to the same newsletter, which is if I kill all your models, I don't need to safe anything.
Yeah, the game is over.
I don't have to use math if everything is dead, so...
Correct. Well, that's how... My ideal game plan is to slow it down to a nice, even pace, and let's see who can stack up the most conditions on a character.
All right, so bringing this conversation to a close, Josh, this is a segue.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever read the Dresden Files? I'm pretty sure the answer is no.
No.
Okay. You would like it. So the main character is a modern-day wizard. It's a modern fantasy book series. But he has a lot of nerdy friends, and so in one of the side stories, he plays in a role-playing game that's clearly just D&D clone, and he plays a barbarian because he gets annoyed at how the D&D magic system doesn't take into account how real-world physics apply to magic, and he gets very annoyed. It's like, well, if you cast Fireball in an enclosed room, everyone dies. That's how Fireball works. He's like, yeah, but that's not what... The game doesn't care if you're in an enclosed room. He's like, that's ridiculous. How would you know how far the... Like, if it's an enclosed room, the Fireball won't expand as far because it's trapped air. He's like, we're not talking about this right now. And so he always starts arguments over how magic should work. And so he plays a barbarian character. He just plays, like, generic Conan. And every
As one
time
should.
somebody starts trying to negotiate, he's like, enough talk, and starts fighting. Like, every time somebody tries to start a conversation, he just starts a fight. He's like, stop talking, we need to fight.
So 2 things on that. The first one is slight sidetrack. Baldur's Gate 3, it brought me great joy because there are class responses to conversations, right? So it's like, I played a barbarian, obviously, and the barbarian can just yell at people. Like, their response is, raw, and you just yell, and people are like, okay, man, I'm fucking sorry, but I'll back off right now. And then I have had a physics debate with someone in a Dungeons and Dragons game because I think I was DMing, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stand this far away, shoot my fireball spell, and it will arc over the wall and hit. And I was like, it doesn't work like that. He's like, yeah, it's a ball of magic. I was like, magic has no weight. It does not respond to physics. The fireball literally goes straight forever until the magic dissipates. He's like, that's not how that works. I was like, you're not throwing a flaming ball. It is a ball of magic you are shooting forward.
Yeah.
So that does tickle me that this guy's like, no, physics is stupid. I'm not doing that.
A lot of people get to that point. Parker got really mad in one of our recent game sessions because he was trying to say, like, well, that's not how that would work. And I'm like, well, first off, you're not in the game. You don't live in the game world, so you wouldn't know how it works. It works the way I say it works, because I'm the GM. Exactly. And immediately Connor's like, he's right. Like, listen to the GM. Don't argue with the GM. Things will end poorly. And immediately everyone at the table, other than Parker, is like, yeah, it's probably a good idea not to argue with Brandon. And he's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. I go, Parker, you're making the mistake of thinking that this lightning bolt is made of electrons. It's really made of magicanium, which operates as magicanium does in my world. And he got very upset. He's like, it's not my fault you don't understand how physics works in the magic world. Like, get used to it. Yeah. He's like, damn it. And so anytime now he tries to argue a rule, I'm like, Parker, what is this made of? He's like, steelanium, and it works as steelanium does. He's like, yeah, that's correct. Like,
yeah, you think steel has HP? Come on, explain that to me.
Yeah. And so Parker got his wake-up call to physics in D&D. It was pretty fun.
Well, good for him.
All right, final segment. Let's jump into our crisis analysis. This week we have Struggle for the Cube continues.
Ooh.
The OG, the original, the pretend mission. If you've ever played a single game of Marvel Crisis Protocol, I don't know why you're listening to us, but you probably have played this mission. Welcome to the Cubes.
It's good that you found us, though.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for listening, but I don't know why you do it. So this mission has a 6% play rate, which is below average.
Really?
Which is surprising to me, considering the current meta. I will say that I think we talked about this a little bit last week. A lot of the go-wide scenario teams tend to favor not playing cubes because lowering their already small health pools makes them very one-shottable, which is kind of high variance. Also, giving everyone extra power increases the speed at which they can damage you, so it's not the best idea. Other than that, it's exactly what the scenario teams want. You want high scoring, you want low points, and you want spread out. And so this accomplishes all of those. I will say that as far as tall guy meta goes, this is actually a pretty favorable mission for tall guys. Models where like Thanos and Malekith used to be around, because it gives them more power to do their crazy strong abilities, but also it's one of the only high quantity extracts that you can hold multiples per character. So models like Juggernaut can hold like 3 or 4 tokens, which is really big.
This is the only one now, isn't it?
Hammers is the next highest at 4, but yeah, I believe it's the only 5 you can hold multiples. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think this is the exact kind of balance you want to see in a crisis. It's got pluses for basically any kind of win condition. I think it's a pretty good general. Like if you're kind of not sure what crisis your team's good at, there's a good chance that cubes might be pretty okay for it.
Yeah, with the sole exception that some idiot keeps designing models and tactics cards that allow you to break the entire format of the game. This mission's pretty balanced because before X-Men came out, you couldn't pick up 4 of them with one team.
Correct.
And so that was never a problem. But ever since X-Men came out, it's just been a revolving door of how can you get 4 of the 5 extracts, which has been a serious problem.
Yeah.
Inhumans can do it, X-Men can do it, Wakanda could do it, Webs can do it. It's fucking annoying. Like if it's slowed down a little bit on that extreme level, but because they've raised the overall average point total, it's now you don't need to go through that kind of a hoop to win. So, what do you guys think about cubes?
I think I like cubes. I don't generally play it because I tend to play a lot of, if I'm not playing Asgard, I play a lot of squishy teams. And so I don't like taking the damage to gain an extra power. But from a design standpoint, I think this is one of the better ones they've ever designed. I don't know about the 5 points. That, once again, it's like a lot, and I don't generally like those. But I like the give-take that it has, because like 1 power is pretty good, but you got to take a damage for it. And there's a lot of people, I hate to always bring up Asgard, but there's a lot of people in Asgard that are turned up by getting that 1 extra power. Because it's like, cool, now I just got 3 power. That's my charge. That's my throw. Like, it's all these extra things.
So we refer to that as bad character design, that you need more power than you get.
Correct. And so
you call them Asgardians.
Asgard.
You call them bad models.
Yes. Punish me for having swords and running across the board, please, with my action economy. But, so I think this mission, if you are going to play beefier models, did you guys have this in your Hellfire list?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
But
for the exact reason that I want my models to not take damage.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 damage is crippling in Hellfire.
I think if you're going to play beefier models, models that have health regen, or I'm gonna say kaiju, then you're gonna like this mission, or webs for extract. But yes, overall, I'm positive on this. I don't generally play it, but I do think it is well designed.
Yeah, just echoing everything Josh said. I think this is just good. I mean, it's one of the ones we've played the most of, probably. I think this is just good, fair MCP, it feels like. Unless you're playing steal all of them immediately, turn 2, or the first couple activations of the game.
If you put the parentheses of no bullshit, then I think this is a great mission.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly on the high end of scoring, but both sides have reasons they do and don't want to play it. I think that makes it a really elegant mission. The only problem being the bullshit things that interact with it very poorly that create these bad situations. Yeah. And so if we're taking those out, filtering that shit out, then it's a great mission. Because we're not filtering them out in the real world, I would give it probably a B-.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think.
Yeah.
Minus getting all of them fucking taken from you immediately and then losing the game just because of that. If there's ever any kind of actual change to how scoring works down the road, or if you even try to come up with some sort, like I think someone talked about at one point, you scored a victory point if you hold all the extracts or something shitty like that. I can't remember what someone said. I heard someone talking about scoring changes potentially at some point, just house rule, not officially. I think if scoring changes happen at some point that kind of slow the game down or change the game up, this would be one of the things I want to see them stick through. I think cubes is exactly how I want them designing missions. There's, and it's also one of the ones where I actually feel like there's a tangible, like, Marvel element to it as well. That's something I like to see in the game a lot more instead of, like, this one feels like something that you could have a superhero team go do. Because, like, the newest ones they just added from the Inhumans pack, I feel like a lot of them are like, what am I doing? What are we doing? What's the point of this? Because, like, unexpected guests, crash royal wedding, you pick up a guest. So in the narrative of the game, you're holding this person. You're like, what do I do with it now? You just hold on to it for the rest of the game. The cube is like, okay, cool, I got a hold of this. We have to collect these, otherwise the bad guys get them. Right? That's something I'm
glad you're role-playing out how the mission works.
That's how it's supposed to be. I'm sorry. They put words on here. Words mean things.
Yeah. So we have 2 more extracts to go. Next week will be Terrigen canisters. The week after that will be unexpected guests. Once we finish all of the extracts, I think I'll send you guys a spreadsheet. We'll probably do it for the last week. and we'll each go and give like either a 1 through 10 or a letter grade on everything.
Oh, cool.
And then we'll go through and compare our judgments across the line and give like an average.
I believe my only F is Inhumans. Wait, no. What is this?
It's a scientific sample.
Thank you. Yes, that one. F.
The worst mission ever designed by man.
Second worst.
It just still tickles me, Brandon, that you were like, man, we were really harsh. Mission. This is probably bad. And then you played it and you're like, oh my god, this is so much worse than I thought.
I didn't realize I'd never played it, and I thought back on it, I was like, I've definitely never played this mission. This mission was fucking cancer.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see a worse mission than Spider Portals. Spider Portals was the worst mission in my mind to that date, and it was so bad.
You sweet summer child.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So I think that's going to wrap this for us. And we will leave you with... Hey, Josh.
What's up?
Did you know there was once a show about airplanes that never took off? It had a lousy pilot.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh.
Do you ever just ping Jeremy dad jokes?
I send all of them to Jeremy immediately after we say them on air.
Okay. Yeah, I saw him typing it up, too. That's the funniest part.
Yeah. I got him with the Yakuza joke yesterday. Or last Thursday.
Which one is the Yakuza one?
Oh, I once confused the words jacuzzi and Yakuza, and now I'm in hot water with the Japanese mafia.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
I told you that one last week, I thought.
You probably did, but I have done a lot since last week, so.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon.
And Josh.
And CJ.
And you've just listened to Cubes.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.